Marley, we were joking, like the big name that you've never discussed that now we can't stop discussing, but maybe after today we'll be monitoring Nebius a bit more because, hey, $17.4 billion, and I believe up to $19.4 billion is no small deal.
It is absolutely not a small deal, and there is a $2 billion option on this. You were correct. Shares highly responsive to this deal with Nebius and Microsoft. Nebius shares up 52% right now on this news that they inked the $17.4 billion deal. They'll be supplying AI infrastructure to Microsoft over a 5-year period. So the Amsterdam-based company will primarily supply Microsoft with dedicated GPU infrastructure from their new data center in New Jersey beginning later this year. Now, this agreement just continues to underscore the growing need for high-performance AI data centers amid this global rush to develop generative AI technologies. And this deal, if there is greater demand from Microsoft, could in fact be up to $19.4 billion. So there is a $2 billion option here for Microsoft to increase this demand. Microsoft has continuously flagged there being a shortage of AI cloud infrastructure and has been turning to third parties to bridge the gap. Of course, we know it has a similar multi-billion-dollar deal with CoreWeave, which is trading actually in sympathy today, up almost 6% on the news for Nebius. But CoreWeave also has a substantial contract with OpenAI for their computing resources as well. Now, Nebius similarly uses NVIDIA chips to power its data centers and also has NVIDIA as a backer of their company. And Nebius added that it may pursue new financing to accelerate expansion beyond its original plans. It has a filing with the SEC that the company disclosed that its GPU services will be rolled out in stages this year and next. So clearly trying to position themselves as a potential major player in this race to provide these much-needed data centers for this AI training, intelligence training that all of these companies are so actively investing in. But a huge deal for them. Analysts viewing this very favorably, believing they're now well-positioned to win additional marquee customers, including other hyperscalers, as well as some frontier AI labs. And if they do any of that refinancing or pursuing new financing, certainly that would position them to take on more and more customers in the future.
Yeah, this seems like a situation where those who take more of a maybe bottom-up approach and they look at industries and they're researching equities, this is the type of thing to people who are watching that do that. This is how did you not know about Nebius? But for someone like me who maybe takes more of a top-down and kind of thinks things macro and then works my way, I'll be honest, this is the first I have heard of this company. So I think it's really cool that we're starting to see new names become major players. And immediately, I said this at the top of the show, Marley, companies in this Magnificent Seven, NVIDIA is an investor in this company. Microsoft, obviously, with this deal, they're kingmakers. And this is now one of these names that's in this AI royalty overnight. And so innovation's happening outside of these companies, but they're the ones who are bringing it the light of day that probably it deserves.
And this is a continued conversation too. We have obviously on all of our shows, we're constantly discussing AI and this data center boom that we're seeing and this push and the demand, and there isn't enough supply to meet the demand. And I've repeatedly on Market on Close had conversations with guests about how the real winners are going to be these companies more like Nebius and CoreWeave, these companies that you don't think of when we look at it, from the top down. We're not looking at some of these smaller companies or the people who make the processes possible. They are part of the process, part of the execution, but they're not at the end of the execution, so they're not thought of in the same way. But certainly, opportunities within there, and we're seeing how impactful they can be. Talking about Nebius, and to Alex's point, I have a feeling that this is not going to be the last that we are talking about Nebius, especially knowing how they're trying to position themselves. And even reading on the street, BWS put out a note saying that the deal provides unprecedented clarity on the company's long-term revenue potential and significantly de-risks its planned capacity.
With direct benefits from the $19 billion Microsoft Nebius transaction and rising neocloud demand, NVIDIA continues to dominate AI computing. My bullish view is fueled by 3 factors: Nebius's increased GPU orders, neocloud ripple effects, and NVIDIA's ownership share in Nebius. Although analysts are increasing their projections for FY 2027, NVIDIA is still trading below its growth rate. Buybacks and investment profits provide additional potential. NVIDIA's stock is well positioned for future development despite China worries, and I maintain my buy recommendation in light of the most recent information. Over the past month, the AI and semiconductor industries have seen a number of revolutionary developments, each of which has the power to change the growth trajectory that AI, the data center, and all of the semiconductor parts and networking solutions needed to meet demand are demonstrating. All AI equities, including NVIDIA, the industry leader, were impacted by worries about the AI bubble popping in August. NVIDIA's Q2 reports, which raised fears about slowing growth, caused markets to close out last month. Broadcom, AVGO, which is often seen as NVIDIA's worst enemy, revealed impressive results last week and also acquired billions of dollars in OpenAI's XPU backlog, further hurting NVIDIA's position. I think that with all of these changes, markets are losing sight of the bigger picture, which is that NVIDIA continues to dominate many elements of the computing requirements for AI and that the surge of expenditure on AI will only grow. This is a positive trend that benefits everyone, particularly industry leaders like NVIDIA. Another example I break down below demonstrates how firmly established NVIDIA is as a victor in the AI ecosystem. Yesterday's $17.419 billion merger between Microsoft and NVIDIA-backed Nebius. In light of the latest developments over the past month, I reaffirm my buy recommendation for NVIDIA. How the $19 billion Nebius Microsoft deal benefits NVIDIA. I mentioned early last month how the impending GB300 rollout will really help NVIDIA, something I expected to hear about during the Q2 results call. However, the majority of the headlines were dominated by NVIDIA's China business, which played spoilsport. My first impression of NVIDIA's Q2 results remained positive despite the company's China revenue volatility. Since my analysis last month, NVIDIA's shares have dropped about 7%, and I felt forced to reiterate my positive stance, particularly in light of the massive $19 billion merger between Microsoft and Nebius. In light of the Microsoft-Nebius merger, I see three key drivers for NVIDIA. First, as part of Nebius's contract with Microsoft, NVIDIA can anticipate a significant increase in backlog. According to Nebius's 6K filing, the NeoCloud business claims that in order to uphold the service agreement of the arrangement with Microsoft, it must meet many GPU deployment dates beginning this year and continuing into next year. In my earlier coverage on Nebius, I calculated that, of their 220 milliw's linked capacity grid, Nebius had around 50 milliw of installed GPU capacity, mainly NVIDIA H100s. By the end of the year, I intended to double their installed capacity to about 100 milliw. With this plan, Nebius would reach a CY25 ARR of more than $1 billion. However, the impact on their future ARR is enormous after acquiring Microsoft as a big client, and Nebius will need to develop a sizable amount of additional GPU capacity to meet Microsoft's GPU needs. This would mean that Nebius would be purchasing much more Blackwell GPUs and systems than the approximately 22,000 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs they are expected to acquire this fiscal year. Nebius 6K further notes that in order to fulfill the agreement, it will be obtaining more funding to build new data centers and buy more GPUs. NVIDIA should see an increase in GPU orders as a result of this agreement alone. I am unable to determine the precise impact on NVIDIA at this time due to the lack of information regarding the 6K. However, I anticipate that this will lead to an increase in NVIDIA's purchasing commitments. In order to reserve manufacturing capacity for the fabrication and production of its GPU chips, NVIDIA typically purchases manufacturing capacity commitments in advance from suppliers and manufacturers like Taiwan Semi. In the forthcoming Q3 filings, I anticipate that NVIDIA will disclose significant increases in their capacity commitments. Second, since CoreWeave, a competitor of Nebius, is also soon to announce a similar agreement with hyperscalers, I anticipate some kind of ripple effect to be visible throughout the NeoCloud ecosystem. Although CoreWeave and Microsoft already have a roughly $10 billion agreement, CoreWeave recently secured a about $16 billion compute contract with OpenAI and has estimated that they will increase their own data center capital expenditures by 357% in H2 in order to meet the demands of the contract and future growth. Even while I think NVIDIA's outlook may already be priced into CoreWeave's capital expenditure hypergrowth, additional wins will support NVIDIA's demand projection. Nebius and CoreWeave both make use of NVIDIA's GPUs, and they are either anticipating or have already begun receiving NVIDIA's Blackwell systems later this year. More hyperscalers, such as Microsoft, would find renting GPUs from neoclouds and other GPU cluster providers appealing, in my opinion. In my opinion, hyperscalers' aggressive capital expenditure expansion since 2022 may finally be beginning to drive down free cash per share, and renting GPUs could help them hedge against their vulnerability to strong capital expenditure deployments. Despite all of this, I think there is still a lot of demand for NVIDIA's GPUs. The neoclouds represent a rapidly expanding market that should surpass projections and give rise to new hopes that NVIDIA's growth will decelerate. NVIDIA's growth forecast for the upcoming quarter, which show revenue increasing by 54% year over year, had investors worried. Investors should keep in mind, however, that these projections do not include any Chinese revenue. Instead of growth slowing down, this seems to me to be a higher inflection from the instability NVIDIA saw in China this year. Investors might also observe that margins are anticipated to rise by about 100 basis points in a sequential manner, indicating that NVIDIA's demand is genuinely increasing. Otherwise, gross margins wouldn't begin to increase sequentially. This leads me to the third reason why the Microsoft Nebius transaction has impacted NVIDIA. Nebius's acquisition of a roughly $19 billion Microsoft contract is undoubtedly a significant factor that is directly affecting the growth prospects of the European neocloud. Nebius's stock was up almost 44% before the market opened, trading between $92 and $93 per share. For Nebius investors, including NVIDIA, it is a major victory. NVIDIA owns stock in Nebius. NVIDIA has approximately 1.19 million Nebius shares, as can be seen above. Based on their average cost base of about 21.3 per Nebius share, I calculate that NVIDIA's M2M position on their Nebius holding is up 334%, which will be a major boost to NVIDIA's stockholders. The value of NVIDIA's stake in Nebius has already doubled for shareholders this year, and the subsequent rise in share price due to the Microsoft contract win would boost NVIDIA's earnings by an additional 33.9M in M2M. Investors are also able to observe how strongly NVIDIA is invested in neocloud firms like Nebius and CoreWeave, as well as CoreWeave partner Applied Digital. Over the course of the next month or two, I think markets will start to see the potential of these three triggers, and NVIDIA is still cheap in my opinion. Based on NVIDIA's price movement over the previous 2 to 3 weeks, I think analysts have been subtly upping their forecasts for this year, and particularly for next year, even if investors have been quite short-term in their views on the company. Over the past 3 to 6 months, analysts have increased their predictions for FY27 EPS by around 10% and FY27 revenues by about 9%. As analysts wrap out the year, I have a feeling that these projections will increase. However, based on my estimations, NVIDIA is trading below its future estimates. Markets are currently happy to trade NVIDIA's shares at 37 to 38 times forward profits, with a 50% year-over-year growth forecast. At its current price, NVIDIA is expected to gain 41.3% year-over-year next year and trade at 26 to 27 times FY27 earnings. Based on how the markets are now trading the company in relation to projected earnings, I believe that NVIDIA should at least trade at 31 to 32 times FY27 earnings. The breadth of multiple growth in this case suggests a price target, PT, of about $200 per share, or about 20% of NVIDIA's shares. Additionally, take note of NVIDIA's announcement of a new $60 billion repurchase program, which will result in additional upside next year due to a smaller share base. My PT is therefore conservative. As can be seen below, NVIDIA has been aggressively repurchasing shares at a rapid rate. Due to the increased share buyback activity, the EPS will rise the next year. In order to keep my calculations somewhat conservative, I haven't yet factored in larger markups in the M2M prices of NVIDIA's investments in my estimations of the company's fair value. Because of fluctuating trade barriers and increased geopolitical sensitivity, China poses a danger to NVIDIA's commercial stability. In order to eliminate prediction volatility, NVIDIA did choose to exclude China from its future projections. In my opinion, this was a very wise move on the part of analysts to take volatility into account. I believe that the China business should continue to generate 15 to 20% of NVIDIA's revenue and offer stability once the geopolitical worries have subsided. In conclusion, I think the Nebius Microsoft agreement that was revealed yesterday benefits NVIDIA in addition to Nebius and the NeoCloud industry. NVIDIA has made a wise investment in the NeoCloud sector, which is growing rapidly. This is advantageous to the company because hyperscalers are increasingly choosing to rent GPUs from NeoClouds. I'm still recommending NVIDIA for purchase. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Well, yeah, we are seeing around 30% of the stocks in the S&P 500 in the green so far. You talked about some of the sectors that are leading, communication services as well as technology. Those are the two areas that we really want to see continued momentum here to really try to bring the market to the upside. But we also have a little bit of a curveball with healthcare actually catching a nice little bit as well. United Health is advancing pretty aggressively this morning. And even though it's somewhat of a smaller sector than what we've seen as far as market weighting over the last year and a half, it has been a laggard. And if you get a little bit more risk on tone there, especially when you're looking at the Humanas, the United Health of the world, that could also give us a little bit of a buffer as maybe some of these other sectors might be turning over just a tad bit, the smaller ones like utilities or even industrials. If you're looking at the levels for today, I'm kind of focusing on the 65.30 level to the upside. That was actually a previous area of resistance that we saw back on September 4th, and we were not able to break through. If we do have a little bit more confidence, a little bit more participation, maybe we go retest those all-time highs here on an intraday basis and continue to move a little bit higher. 6,500 obviously has been the focus. We were gyrating around that level yesterday, closed around 5 points below it. And then to the downside, you're looking for support at 64.75. Now, we will have that BLS update when it comes to those payrolls. I would have to think that it'd have to be a pretty hot print. You're talking about 800,000 or more, Nicole, to really kind of bring a little bit more of a bearish tone within this market. And it's more of a wait and see until the inflationary prints come out, the PPI and CPI numbers over the next couple of days. So overall, we're holding up and we're faring pretty well at the 6,500 level. Let's see if we get more participation to really try to break us through and give us some confidence that we can recapture and advance from these current all-time highs that we've tested over the last couple of trading sessions.